Undoubtedly, one of the most exciting releases for 2022 is God of War Ragnarok. Coming hot off the heels of the series' reinvention in 2018, Ragnarok seemingly still has a lot of gameplay changes in store. Here are 10 of the biggest gameplay differences we've spotted from 2018's God of War in pre-release materials for God of War Ragnarok. Keep in mind, since we are discussing changes from the previous game, there will be spoilers for God of War 2018. You hath been forewarned. In God of War 2018, there were 3 of the 9 Norse realms you couldn't travel to: Svartalfheim, Vanaheim, and Asgard. In last year's PS Blog breakdown, Sony Santa Monica confirmed that all 9 Norse realms will be playable in God of War Ragnarok, including the 6 we've already seen. Whether Muspelheim and Niflheim will once again function mainly as optional battle and maze areas has yet to be determined. Fimbulwinter is here, and that means unlike hoverboards, boats only work on water. The gameplay reveal trailer for Ragnarok showed Kratos and Atreus on a dog sled, and the newest trailer showed what looks like some kind of Norse carriage ride and even the main character submerging underwater. We don't know if this means that some type of swimming will be in the game, or if this is just a short cutscene, but there does seem to be more than one way to get around this time. Mimir may have to learn to talk a lot faster.
Enough. No stories. Not while on foot.
At a minute 40 in the new State of Play trailer, Kratos uses the Blades of Chaos as a grappling hook, a traversal option he didn't have in 2018. This should open up a verticality in the level design that wasn't really there before, and as we all know, every game is made better when you add a grappling hook. He also uses the blades a few seconds later to grab a rock from the ground and hurl it at enemies, and in the previous trailer, he leaps off an edge to do a smash attack from above. And speaking of the Blades of Chaos,
you will always be a monster.
While the moment that Kratos goes back for the Blades of Chaos was a fantastic bit of character work in God of War 2018, it's hard to argue that the blades gave a much-needed boost to the game's combat variety. Finally unleashing the old God of War's legendary weapons made the gameplay really sing, and this time, barring any strange narrative turns, we should have the blades from the very beginning, meaning you'll have many more ways to trounce your enemies from the get-go, including the previously mentioned smash and rock toss, and this obviously Dig Dug inspired chain explosion. Just look at him go. First mentioned in Game Informer's cover story, the Leviathan Axe and Blades of Chaos can be infused with their particular element, ice or fire respectively. According to Game Informer, these abilities are called Frost Awaken for the Leviathan Axe and Whiplash for the Blades of Chaos, and they should further amp up both your crowd control ability and damage. Also detailed in Game Informer's cover story are 2 new shields Kratos will have access to, the Dauntless and Stonewall shields. Your choice of shield will depend on whether you're offensively or defensively minded, as each will have their own strengths and weaknesses, and some unique skills as well. In the same article, more shields are promised as you progress further in the game, but they don't want to spoil all the surprises just yet. It's a good thing there are so many combat changes, because Ragnarok seems to boast a ton of new enemy types. In the reveal trailer alone, we can see these glowing frog lizard dudes, these horned berserkers, this leaping lizard, a centaur, and, of course, Thor himself. The most recent trailer showed even more, including this Shape of Water person and this very tall creature, which we're guessing may be a new variant of elf? With all 9 realms to travel, there appears to be more beings gunning for your heads. In the previous game, the Valkyrie fights were the most difficult end bosses available. If they're working together in Ragnarok, that's a clear ratcheting up of the stakes for our heroes.
For the old father!
Just look at this team wailing on Atreus while Kratos climbs back up. I'm already shivering at the thought of fighting off 2 warrior gods at once in Give Me God of War mode. Given Atreus' ability to read Nordic runes, and his increased combat skill in this game, could he be guiding Kratos to attack enemies' weak points? These lava blob monsters are inscribed with what appears to be the rune for Lagu, or lake, and Kratos strikes them with both a Leviathan Axe and the Blades of Chaos in the newest trailer. Perhaps different runes will mark enemy areas as hints to defeating them. Or maybe it's just a cool lock-on symbol. Just spitballing here. This octopus-bearing fellow appears to be a new shopkeeper, adding to the previous game's roster of Brock and Sindri. Given his monocle, a classic bad guy accessory if there ever was one, his cephalopod friend, and his appraising grin when looking back and forth between Atreus and Kratos, something tells us he's about to offer a deal heavily weighted in his favor. Perhaps an ongoing quest to collect creature parts that you can trade for upgrades.
Let it serve you.
Those are 10 of the biggest gameplay changes we've spotted for God of War Ragnarok.